Okay, ladies and gentlemen for ladies, once again, have patience to use this simple learning material that will supplement the notes that I gave to you, and have patience to finish the subject matter. Uh, we finish it until June 9 of 2021 as much as possible. So this discussion, uh, I will try my best to discuss, to supplement, the notes that is given to you. So at this very moment, I will discuss to you uh, and summarize chapter one, of the subject matter, specialized crime investigation two, with simulation on interrogation techniques and interview. Okay. So before we proceed, I would like again to remind you that this is just a matter of continuation of a CI1. No? So in a CI1, we focus on uh, the specific crimes that mostly have crime scene, and specific crimes that highly, needs the conduct of crime scene investigation, no? And of course, in SCI1 also is the is of course the course or the subject that focuses on the use of forensic science in the solution of a specific crime, aside from the specific procedures that we have to apply whenever we are dealing with these crimes. So in a CI1, we were able to discuss specific procedures, specifically procedures when there is an incident report, then procedures at the crime scene, starting from the arrival of the first responders, arrival of the IOC, and if the situation warrants, the uh, request for the assistance of the SOCO team until the turnover of the crime scene, from the SOCO team, and the final survey of the crime scene before the IOC will lift the cordon and release the crime scene to appropriate authorities or persons as far as the crime scene is concerned. Then, of course, as you know, that whenever after a crime scene investigation is conducted, there should be the conduct of follow-up investigation, or what we call in-depth investigation. That is the second phase of any criminal investigation. So in the follow-up investigation, that's the time that investigators will exert more techniques in order to accomplish the threefold aims of investigation. That is to uh, locate, that is to identify, locate, and provide evidence to support the guilt of the suspect. So of course, in the follow-up phase, or in the in-depth, or even during the arrival at the crime scene, the use of interview, no, as far as example, you are at the crime scene, there are available witnesses, for instance, then you conduct informal, what is that, interview, no, and there in that instance, interview is being applied as a technique of investigation. And as I said a while ago, after crime scene investigation, when you are in the follow-up or in-depth investigation, you can do interrogation of suspects, interrogation of witnesses, no? Uh, and that is being conducted during the follow-up or in-depth investigation, to identify leads and patterns, information about the crime being investigated. No? So, doon pa lang in that process, SCI-2 is being applied. No? As far as interrogation and interview are concerned. No? So, therefore, no, as I said a while ago in SCI-1, the focus more is on the forensic aspect, no, on the crime scene investigation of specific crimes. So on the other hand, no, there are also crimes, as I always say, that there is no specific crime scene. So basically, CSI or forensic science is not highly applied, but it is possible also to be applied, but it is not highly possible. So in other words, there are crimes that have no specific crime scene. So therefore, you have to exert other efforts and techniques in order for you to gather information, gather evidence to establish the identity, the location, and the guilt of the suspect of that specific crime. So as I said, in a CI2, it is a matter of continuation, but in SCI2, we are dealing on other crimes that are being committed and must be investigated by investigators. So in a CI2, we will encounter, no, as a matter of refreshment, as I said, because in SCI1, we just focus on specific crimes like crimes against person and crimes against property. But in SCI2, we will first discuss uh, and again orient ourselves on the different crimes that are punishable by our criminal laws and special laws, no? So dito sa discussion natin, you will again be oriented or reoriented on the specific crimes, no? Aside from murder, as we mentioned in SCI1. So yan ang una nyong makikita sa notes ninyo. So that again, you will be reminded that there are other crimes that may be investigated by the police, not only murder, not only homicide, not only parricide, but there are other crimes. No? Whereas commonly there are no crime scene. Like estafa, no? Ang estafa walang crime scene 'yan. Hindi ka pupunta to cordon the crime scene. But there are other means to establish and accomplish the threefold aims of criminal investigation. Okay? So again, in a CI2, no, you will encounter, no, specific crimes that are subject for investigation. No. Secondly, you will what is that? Encounter, no, specific investigative techniques that can be applied. You will also, of course, the main, no, main line of the subject matter is the use of interview or interrogation techniques. Yeah. Because, if there are no crime scene, whereas there is no available physical evidence that can be used, then we only, we highly or we mostly rely on information. Information. So therefore, the best technique in order to gather information aside from the conduct of intelligence operation is of course the use of other forms or other techniques and the common techniques and the common, no, and proven techniques are the interview and interrogation. So therefore, interrogation, interview, yan yung leading na ginagamit in order to accomplish the threefold aims of criminal investigation. Okay? So, you will encounter, no, the procedures in investigating specific crimes, no, punishable by the revised penal code, crimes punishable by special penal laws like terrorism, no, like organized crime investigation, no. But again, organized crime is not it is not a crime per se, no. Ang organized crime Not unlike terrorism kasi meron pa tayong bagong law, punishing terrorism, the new terrorism law, no? That is really a crime, no? But for organized crime or syndicated crime, no, that is not a crime itself, but it is a description. It is an international description describing a crime that is being committed by two or more persons. No? Terrorism is politically motivated. Terrorism is politically motivated. While organized crime or syndicated crime is profit oriented. No? Profit oriented. Yan ang profit oriented, no? Ginagawa yung mga crimes na yan because in exchange is monetary gain, no? Money matters, business matters. Not unlike terrorism that they do several violent acts, illegal acts for the purpose of overthrowing the government, for the purpose of showing to the world that this government is not doing good. No? So they are putting shame to the government. So in other words, ang terrorism is wants to destroy the government. No? Wala silang pakialam sa profit. That is the common sense. No? Yeah. So again, terrorism is politically motivated, while organized crime is a description of crimes being committed by groups or syndicates, no, for purposes of profit. Yan ang organized crime. So of course, ano yung mga specific crimes na ginagawa ng isang organized crime group, no? Organized crime group. Kaya sa PNP, meron silang unit na organized crime group division, no? They are the one who conducts investigation of organized crime groups or syndicates, no? So drug trafficking, yan yung common. Human trafficking, yan. So yan ang ginagawa ng mga organized crime group. Pag mahuli sila, then sasampahan natin kung ano yung ginagawa nila. Either if it is human trafficking, we have a law punishing it, no? Or drug trafficking, we have Republic Act number 9165 as amended. You see? So, that is the difference of terrorism and organized crime. And also, another main line of the subject is, of course, the familiarization of human rights, of especially persons being investigated, no? Kasi alam nyo, ang government is a very big, no, system in this country, for example. So the government is a very big system. In other words, the government have all the power. The government have all the resources, privileges, authorities. Kaya pwede nilang gawin kung ano ang gusto nila. They can abuse their powers kung gugustuhin nila. So, in order to give protection to the society who is just a part of the system, a minute part of the system, nagkaroon tayo ng human rights. In other words, merong mga nakasulat na international laws, meron ding nakasulat na batas sa ating bansa. So we have the Constitution, we have statutes, we have special laws that provides and protects rights of people, not only criminals or not only people who are under investigation, but of course, all people in this world are being protected by human rights. So ang police, no, such as when you conduct investigation, you always put the respect for human rights. Because if you respect the human rights, then as a result, you will not abuse the authority given to you. And if you will not abuse your authority as investigators, then of course, your case or the case that you investigated will be successful. No? So therefore, that is the other main line of the subject, the consideration of rights or human rights, especially persons under investigation. Okay? So with that, that is the main line of the subject, specialized crime investigation 2. The main line is understanding specific crimes, no, that are not included in SCI 1, then the specific procedures in investigating them, and secondly, uh, investigating also other crimes punishable by special penal laws like organized crime and terrorism, no, and lastly, uh, the familiarization of the human rights of every person, especially the rights of persons under investigation, rights of person under arrest, and similar people as far as investigation of crimes are concerned. Okay? And other related topics. So that is SCI 2. Okay? So with that, let us proceed and discuss chapter 1. So, chapter 1, no, chapter 1 is all about the salient considerations regarding specialized crime investigation. Let us see, as Dr. Frank Crane said, if you are not curious, it is a sign that you are stupid. So therefore, as investigators, you should always be curious. Consider all evidence. Do not choose evidence. You use your senses. Use your common sense, use your skills so that you will understand the surroundings of the commission of a crime and come up with an analysis and solve the crime and accomplish the threefold aims of criminal investigation. Okay? So with that, as you see in the introduction, uh, the Specialized Crime Investigation 2 with simulation on interview or interview techniques is a course that considers the importance of testimonial evidence as support to physical evidence in order for investigators to have a more concrete lead in the build-up of a specific crime for purposes of identifying, locating the offender, and providing evidence for his guilt in the court of law. Okay, so that is all about the introduction. So I already made my detailed introduction a while ago. So I hope you were able to capture even a very little thing so that you have a lead on the subject matter. So let us proceed, of course, for us to understand further, no, the subject matter. Let us know some definition of terms like specialized crime investigation, is a special study of modern techniques in the investigation of serious and specific crimes defined and punishable by the criminal laws and other special penal laws. I hope you know what are special penal laws. Ah, yan. Ang special penal laws, ang ating criminal law is the revised penal code. Yan ang number one source. Other sources of criminal laws is the special penal laws. Ang mga special penal laws, we have Republic Acts, yan, PDs. Okay? Of course, paulit-ulit lang yan. Investigation as a term is an inquiry, judicial or otherwise, for the discovery and collection of facts concerning the matter or matter involves. Criminal investigation, it is the collection of facts in order to accomplish the threefold aims, which are to identify the guilty party, paulit-ulit kong sinasabi yan, to locate the guilty party, and to provide evidence of his guilt. Okay? Who is a criminal investigator? Again, maraming klaseng terms that you should remember on who is a criminal investigator. No? Sa PNP, they call him as police investigator, pwede ring police detective. Yan, so do not forget those. Criminal investigator is a public safety officer who is tasked to conduct the investigation of all criminal cases as provided for and embodied under the revised penal code and special laws. Okay? Evidence is a term that's of course very important because when you conduct investigation, you are gathering evidence. Okay? So evidence is very important to remember. And of course, we have the rules of court that provides the procedures on when shall an evidence admissible. Okay? So, evidence, you memorize this, the main sanction by the rules of court of ascertaining in a judicial proceeding the truth respecting a matter of fact. Okay? Respecting a matter of fact. Alright. Alam nyo, pwede nyong i-alter ang fact. Pwede nyong sabihin na ito yung fact. No? But again, the truth will never be altered. The truth will never be altered. You can alter the fact, but you cannot alter the truth. No? Example, maitim tayo. Nag-make up tayo ng makapal-kapal. So that is to alter the color of our skin. No? Pag natulog ka, tumagal lang ilang oras o araw, mawawala din ang makeup mo, babalik at babalik ka sa original mong skin complexion. Okay? So ganun din ang truth, no? Truth is truth. No? Yeah, even no one believes it. May nagsabi nga. No? Lie is lie. Even everyone believes it. Okay? So evidence is very important. No? Especially in criminal investigation, you should know the procedures. Because always remember a very important doctrine, the doctrine of poisonous tree. Any illegally obtained evidence is inadmissible in evidence. Okay? Suspect or suspects. No, maraming terms diyan. Suspect, pwede mong tawaging culprit, pwede mong tawaging person of interest, pero ang person of interest, pwede ring witness yan. Or pwedeng victim yan. No? Yan yung tinagamit ngayon para hindi masyadong harsh pag sabihin mong suspect. So, person of interest. No? Culprit, perpetrator, offender, felon, yan. So, suspect. Pag nasampahan na ng kaso ang isang tao sa korte, no? Meron ng kaso sa korte, then pwede mo nang tawagin yung tao as accused. Yan. Pag nasentensyahan yung tao by final judgment, then we can call him as criminal. Criminal. Yan. Okay? So, victim is all force the aggrieved party. Marami ding term ang victim, pwedeng plaintiff, the offended party. Yan. Cross-examination, importante ito. Hindi lang sa korte ginagamit yan. But you as investigators, whenever you have evidence, like testimonial or physical evidence, kailangan i-cross-examine mo, you determine the truthfulness of the evidence, the integrity of the evidence. No? Example, may nagsumbong sa'yo na pinalo or may ginawa, you have to always cross-check it. No? Mahirap kung padalos-dalos. Crime scene, of course, that is a venue or the place where the crime was actually committed. Yan. Itong confession at admission, ito yung mga purpose or ito yung gustong makuha when you conduct interrogation. So when you conduct interrogation to an interrogee or interrogee, yan ang tawag sa interrogee as in INTERROGEE. Yeah, double A. Interrogate. Yeah. Pag nagkakandak tayo ng interrogation, ang pinaka-aim natin diyan when we do when we apply the techniques, no? Example in the terrorism. Yan ang ginagamit, interrogation. May mga techniques na ina-apply diyan. Para ang gusto mo when you conduct interrogation, but again, when you conduct interrogation, you have to always obey the law. You have to always follow the law. No, the procedures, no? Yan. So, ang number one na purpose when you conduct is to obtain confession. Yan, ang pinakamataas. So, confession versus admission, ang pinakamataas na ebidensya, no? In the solution of a crime is confession. Yan. Kasi sa confession, inamin na ng tao na ginawa niya yung act, siya ang bumaril, at inaamin din niya na siya ang may kasalanan. So dalawa yan, 2 in 1. Inamin mo yung act, inamin mo rin yung kasalanan. And that is confession. Sa admission naman, no, this can be used as evidence, but it is not concrete or conclusive that the person is guilty. In other words, sa admission, pwedeng aminin ng suspect na siya ang kumalabit sa gatilyo, siya ang bumaril sa tao, pero ginawa lang niya yon in self-defense. Andon yung term na pero. No? So, hindi niya inaamin ang kasalanan, inaamin lang niya ang ginawa niya. Okay? So, do not forget that. Confession and admission. Of course, you already encountered this one in your SCI1, the PNP Specialized or Special Investigation Task Group. Then the IOC or Duty Investigator, that is the term used in the PNP to describe the investigator in charge. Then physical evidence, do not forget that there are 3 kinds of physical evidence. Corpus delicti, testimonial, and corpus delicti, associative, and tracing evidence. Testimonial evidence, yeah. Okay? Testimonial evidence, it is provided in the form of a statement of testimony, especially of witnesses. Okay? Witnesses. Interview. Yan. Interview, that is an investigative technique that is a conversational with a purpose motivated by desire to obtain certain information from person being interviewed as to what was done, seen, felt, heard, tasted, smell, or known. So, ang interview, ginagamit lang yan to a person who is willing to give information. So, pag willing yung tao to give information, yan, that you conduct interview. Okay? Sa interrogation naman, commonly ginagawa yan, this is a formal questioning of a person, no, that you have to always observe, especially for suspect. No? Yeah. Okay. Next, no, as I said a while ago, do not forget the interview and interrogation, no, that those are the main tool, no, in this subject matter. So, of course, the criminal law is a branch of or division of law which defines crimes, traits of the nature, and provides for the punishment. Ito yung basis parati ng isang investigator, no? As I always say, the basis of the book of the investigator, no, in order to establish whether a crime is being committed using evidence. Crime is an act or committed or omitted in violation of any penal law. And that is the general term. Felony, these are the specific felony. These are crimes punishable by the revised penal code, no? While offense, these are crimes punishable by special penal laws. Yan yung offense. Okay? So, ang felony is mala inse, no? While offense is mala per se. Mala prohibita, no? In general. Okay? So, I'm talking here generally. Okay? So, those are the terms. Then, let us proceed on the specific crimes punishable by the revised penal code and the special laws. So, the reason of any criminal investigation is the occurrence of crimes, but every crime is unique as to its nature and elements. Therefore, as investigators, it is a must to first establish the possible crime committed based on available evidence gathered upon each discovery or reporting of such incident, and this shall be the initial basis of the whole processes of investigation. It is then the burden of investigators to prove the alleged crime through specific investigation, applying all available techniques and resources. So therefore, nilagay ko yung specific crimes para makita nyo yung buong buod kung ano yung mga iba pang crimes na pwede mong investigate or makommit as far as the revised penal code is concerned and the special penal laws are concerned na hindi na-discuss sa SCI1. So the revised penal code is a book. It is a compilation of all criminal laws, and the revised penal code classified the crimes. And first classification of crimes is crimes against the fundamental law of the state. So there are 9 listed here: arbitrary detention, violation of rights, delaying release, expulsion until crimes against religious worship. Fundamental law. The fundamental law of the state is the Constitution. So itong mga ito, these are violative to the uh, Bill of Rights of a person under the Constitution. No? Bill of Rights. And what is the fundamental law of this country? It is the Philippine Constitution, the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Second, crimes against public order. What are the crimes that is related to the destruction of public order? Rebellion, coup d'etat, sedition, yan, until evasion of service of sentence. Third, crimes against public interest, falsification of documents. Kasi, of course, no? Falsification of documents is against public interest. Lugi ang publiko. No, because unfair yan. Okay? Fraud. Okay? Crimes relative to opium, that is already punishable by, that is defined under Republic Act number 9165 as amended. That is a comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Then crimes against public morals, gambling, yan. Offense against decency and good customs. Crimes committed by public officers, dereliction of duty, direct bribery, indirect bribery. Itong bribery nito, it is committed by public officer. No? Pagtanggap ng suhol. Ang pagbigay ng suhol naman, it is corruption of public officers. So the giver of a bribery is punishable by corruption of public officer. Okay? Kahit hindi ka public officer, pwede kang sampahan. Itong anti-graft and corrupt practices, it is violative under Republic Act number 3019. Basahin niyo yan. Okay, yan, mga yan. Maraming crimes committed by public officers. No? Kasama din yan ang investigator. Pag ikaw ay nagpasuhol, yan ang krimen mo, ikaw na ang investigahan. Okay? Okay, marami yan. Then, crimes against persons, yan. These are common in SCI 1, no? Yan, but yan, marami pa. Rape is a crime against person, okay? Noon, it is crimes against chastity. Crimes against liberty, yan, kidnapping, yan, okay? Crimes against security, abandonment, and then qualified trespass, okay? Then light coercion. Then crimes against property, yan, robbery, yan, culpable insolvency, estafa, yan, arson. That is, arson is punishable by, there is now a special law. We have a presidential PD number 1613. Yan. PD 1613. Yes. No? Then crimes against chastity, adultery, concubinage. Yan, wala na dyan ang rape. Okay? Yan. So, pag investigator ka, alam mo yung mga crimes na yan. Crimes against the civil status of person, simulation of birth, usurpation of child status, bigamy, yan. So, bigamy. Entering into two marriage, bigamy. Kaya nga, bi. Pero ang mga Muslim, they are exempted because they are polygamous. No? Crimes against honor, libel, yan. Slander, intriguing against honor. Okay? Yan, maraming ganyan sa inyo. Okay? So those are the crimes under the revised penal code, and also we have the crimes punishable by under special laws. Ito yung mga wala sa revised penal code, no? Violation of the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act, assignment niyan, tignan niyo kung ano yung mga serial number ng mga yan. Anong Republic Act yan? Violation of Access Device Law, that is Republic Act number 8484. Credit card fraud, yan. Anti-child pornography, juvenile justice, anti-violence against women, that is very common, that is na Republic Act number 9262, no? Anti-sexual harassment, that is Republic Act number 8788, try to check if it is correct. Violation of anti-trafficking against person, merong mga amendments yan. Yan, pakibasa ang mga yan. Optical Media Act, new anti-carnapping law, assignment nyo yan. Anti-cattle rationing law, chainsaw law. Ito, meron din tayong bagong batas dyan. Okay? Then managing investigations, of course, is very important whenever a crime is committed. No? Supervising, managing, yan, you read that. Okay? So select and assign investigators properly, train investigators, documentation system for managing. Investigators must manage coordination. Supervision of investigation is very important. And for a successful investigation, a logical sequence is followed. Kaya nga may procedure tayo na ginagamit. Walang shortcut. Okay? All available physical evidence is legally obtained. All witnesses are effectively interviewed. All suspects are legally and effectively interrogated. All leads are thoroughly developed. All details of the case are accurately and completely recorded and reported. So if you will not do that, then you will fail. So that's why investigator fails. Failure to be systematic. No? Yan. Hindi sinusunod ang procedure. Failure to be thorough. Yan. Failure to present the case effectively. Failure to manage time and other resources. Failure to be humble. Yan. Mayabang kang investigator. Wala. Okay? So that is chapter 1. So please, you have your notes. So you just counter check it. Okay? So that is chapter 1 of the subject matter. Okay? So the next is chapter 2 on the specific investigative techniques. Okay? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I will end my discussion in this part. No? So I hope you continue reading your notes and expect series of examination until the date mentioned so that we will finish it. No? Okay, so thank you. Be good always. Have patience and comply. And ako nang bahala sa inyo. Okay? All right. So with that, we call it a day. Be good always. Be safe. And God bless us all. Okay? Thank you.